Welcome to this tutorial where we will look at different ways of creating objects in Insight as well as how to edit existing objects. Before we begin, let's do a quick recap of the main concepts in Insight and how they relate to each other. First, remember that an object schema is a database which serves as a container for different kinds of assets. A schema contains different tables for each object type, and each of these tables contain columns that indicate the different kinds of information collected for each object inside that table. For instance, we could have a schema called ITSM, which contains tables for computers, software, users, and locations, one table for each object type. Within these tables are objects like Mac, Keynote, Sandra, and Iceland, and these objects can be referenced in other objects. Like in this case, we have a reference from computers to users, from software to computers, and from users to locations. To create and edit objects in Insight, users need to be in the developer's role, which is one of the 3 roles in an object schema. Now let's look at 3 different methods to create new objects within the ITSM object schema. For the first method, we will create an entirely new object from within the object schema. We start off by navigating to the Insight ITSM schema. To do that, we select Insight from the main menu and select Insight Object Schemas. There we find the ITSM schema and click on it. Once we are in the ITSM schema and we have permission to create new objects, the Create Object button will be available in the upper right corner. Click on the button to create a new object. The object type is automatically set based on the object that is selected at the time the Create Object button is clicked, but you can change that if needed. Then you simply fill in the fields configured by the admin and click on Create at the bottom of the pop-up screen. The object is created and everyone with access to this schema can now view it. Now let's explore other ways to create an object. Another way to create an object is to clone an existing one. This can be helpful if you're creating an object that shares a lot of the details with an existing object. So first, you need to find the object you want to clone. When you have found it, you open it and click on More and Clone to clone the object. You will see that most attributes are filled in with the same information as the object we are cloning. This way, you can easily update the attributes that need to be updated and then create the object. When creating an object this way, you need to be sure to change all the values that need to be changed. It's easy to overlook something, especially if you have numerous attributes. The third way to create objects is in the Create Issue view. This option needs to be enabled by the Object Schema Manager. Let's create an issue by clicking on the Create button in the top menu. When this option has been enabled, then you will see a plus icon next to the Insight Custom field on the screen when creating an issue. By clicking on the icon, a new Create Object screen will open. You simply fill in the fields and create the object. Note that creating a new object from the Create Issue screen does not automatically link the two. Be sure to manually link the object if it's part of the issue being created. Now you can continue to create the issue. Now let's take a look at how we can edit existing objects. First, we navigate to the object schema and locate the object we want to edit. When we find the object, we need to open it and click on the Edit button in the upper left corner. Clicking the Edit button will open an edit screen where you can change what needs to be changed. When we're done editing, we need to save our changes by clicking the Save button at the bottom of the screen. Now we have seen 3 different ways to create an object. From scratch within the object schema, from cloning an existing object, and from the Create Issue screen. We also learned how to edit an existing object. Thank you for watching.